Hey everybody, this is Dr. Clarence E. Wright. So last night I saw the new Bonhoeffer film. I'm aware of the concerns about this particular film, but I'm also curious to see how Hollywood would portray this important figure. If you don't know who Dietrich Bonhoeffer is, he was a pastor and theologian. He courageously resisted Hitler and Nazi Germany and their unholy alliance with the German church. Bonhoeffer also spent his formative years in New York, studying at Union Seminary and worshiping at the Abyssinian Baptist Church. Now, the Bonhoeffer family and some Bonhoeffer scholars are boycotting this film because it is based on Eric Metaxas' book, where he's framed through a white evangelical lens. My take is that the vibe of the film, which had a different director and screenwriter, felt a bit more nuanced. But there were certainly some red flags that gave me pause. So here they are. Red flag number one. One of the criticisms of Metaxas' work is that he actually overemphasized Bonhoeffer's time at Abyssinian over his education at Union in order to paint him as having a born-again experience in the evangelical sense. That part is definitely present. If I'm honest, Union Seminary is done dirty in this film. And as someone who works in the field of theological education, it feels like a slight to seminary education as a whole. Professor Henry Emerson Fosdick is also very specifically maligned in this film. Although he's unnamed in the film, he is named in the credits. Meanwhile, there's a whole scene with Bonhoeffer effectively being led to Christ by Adam Clayton Powell Sr., who is worth noting was also named in the credits, but not in the film, which renders him effectively an unnamed random black preacher. Personally, I don't think it's possible to overemphasize the role of the black church and what the black church played in forming his feet on the ground theology. But that's not what we get in this film. As with most portrayals of the black church by white filmmakers, the emphasis is more on the music than the message. You cannot appreciate the theological formation of Dietrich Bonhoeffer without wrestling with his full experience at both Union and Abyssinian. This film fails at both. Red flag number two. There's also a strong evangelical push to promote the film, which heightens my hermeneutic of suspicion. From the endless emails that I had to unsubscribe from that have now begun promoting other Christian films, to the opening message in the theater with the director emphasizing how important this film is, to the QR code at the end incentivizing people to share the film in order to release extra clips. I know when I'm being evangelized, and the machine promoting this film feels very familiar. I was just waiting for somebody to come in the theater and pass out tracts and give an altar call. Now be clear, I'm not against altar calls. I give one every Sunday. I'm not against the notion of being born again. In fact, I wholeheartedly subscribe to the core premise of evangelicalism that we should share our faith with the world. But the question that we don't ask enough is, what faith are we sharing? And what Jesus are we pointing to? In the case of this heavy-handed method of promotion for this film, it makes me question if there's an ulterior motive. So yeah, there are some legitimate concerns with this film. If I see it again, I may very well find a third red flag, but I will wait until it comes to video for that. Bottom line is Dietrich Bonhoeffer is someone that everyone should know about. Everyone. Particularly in these times when there are concerning parallels with what happened with the German church in the Nazi era and what's happening with evangelical churches in America today. The positive, at least for me, is that this film, with all of its issues, is motivating me to do a deeper dive into other accounts of Bonhoeffer's life, starting with a reread of Bonhoeffer's Black Jesus, by Reggie Williams. I hope you do the same. Whether or not you decide to see this film, let me know your thoughts, and like and subscribe everywhere. Poetic Pastor on all platforms.